Alright, what's going on, guys? So let me give a little bit of an introduction before this video begins. This is the first episode in a new series I'm trying, where essentially we take a new zombies map every week alongside a new challenge, and we have a new guest on where we basically play through that challenge on that specific map and just chat about things. It's not necessarily about the game, it's more of an interview style where you get to kind of see who the YouTuber is on a more personal level and get to explore the dynamics within conversation and stuff. So in this case, our first guest is CodeNamePizza, and you'll get to explore the dynamics of our friendship, and we basically talk about things non-related to the game for the entire time. Yes, the game is recorded live, we just basically ran through it without talking much about the game, but I think you'll find the conversation quite insightful and interesting. It's going to be pretty much entirely unedited aside from a few things for brevity, but for the most part, you're just going to get to hear us talk about things while you have some just zombies gameplay to watch in the background, and while we're playing it as well and just bonding and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure to give it a like rating and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And also let me know in the comment section if you like this style of video and what YouTuber you would like to see next. I have a whole list of people I would like to get through, so if there's anybody you want to have on, then definitely let me know and I'll try to get them expedited and on the series as soon as I can. So anyways, enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. One box Easter egg.
Have you seen where the mistletoe is on Frankwoods? Yeah.
Cheeky Activision. I see you. I see you. So this is the first, I don't even know what I'm gonna call this. This is the first zombies interview slash podcast. First guest on, Mr. CodeNamePizza, one of my best buds.
What's going on?
Thanks for coming on, dude. How you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. I've clocked off for the day, finished streaming, so I'm on the wine. The challenge is I'm drinking wine, and I will finish this Easter egg with no downs.
That is what we love to see. So yeah, the whole premise of this is to really just have some zombies to chew on in the background, but more or less just listen to the conversation and what we got going on and just kind of talk about stuff and catch up.
Exactly.
So what's been going on in your life recently?
Nothing much, you know, just had a baby.
Yeah, no, it's pretty major. Like for those of you who don't know, you had your firstborn about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, November 25th, 2020.
Wow.
He's 2 weeks premature, and he is a legend.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How is the dad's schedule?
The dad's guy. Well, so I'm very fortunate. I feel like I have one of the best communities on YouTube. So like as soon as I knew he was gonna be born, I was like, okay, I'm taking a month off, like a solid month, and I'm gonna just spend time with him, spend time with my wife, and get into the role of being a dad, because it's a big change. But apart of, like I've jumped into it, and it's honestly amazing. Like this morning, it's now what, like 7:30 p.m. at night here, and I was up this morning at 4:30 with him, and I've been awake ever since. And I'm not that tired. Like I'm in the role of a dad now. This is who I am. I can stream today.
No, I was gonna say, like, I mean I can't relate because I'm not a dad, but like
Yeah.
I can imagine it's a lot of responsibility. Like
It is, but I feel like, you know, you get so much from them. They don't speak, you know, but you feel like they do. And you get a lot of love from them without them actually kind of, it's weird. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean
so
it's this like it's this new person that you have this opportunity to have like this immaculate relationship with from the beginning of their life, you know? That's pretty cool.
Exactly. They don't know about why I dropped out of university. They don't know that I was addicted to playing Die Rise, and that's why I didn't get a degree. They just judge me for how often I milk them. I give them the milk and change them.
See, that's true, and that's interesting you bring that up as well. Like you and I both share camaraderie in that fact where you and I are both college dropouts, let's say.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Dude,
I think the
been
reasoning
really
for ours was pretty similar, but we probably had different experiences in doing so.
Yeah.
So like I guess like just kind of walk me through and what that was like and your decision.
Yeah,
doing
so
that.
I was in, so we'll go all the way back. We'll take it back to the past.
You ready? You ready for my first box spin? By the way, this is the one box challenge.
So we one-hit challenge. Yeah.
So here we go. This is going to decide our fate.
Before we jump into story time. Oh my god. Okay,
this
not
is
too
so
bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I don't mind the MP5, man. That's
watch, you're gonna get a ray gun. You're gonna get a ray gun. I'm calling it. Oh, okay.
Dude, I'll actually take it. I don't mind that.
Those are pretty good. Yeah, no, not bad.
So yeah, we'll take it all the way back to the past. So settle down and get yourself a nice comfy chair. I was very, very confused about what I wanted to do with work and stuff, or where I wanted to go with college. So I took a college class that I really didn't want to do, and I dropped out very quickly.
What were you taking?
Oh, dude. I took, I think it's called, I don't even know the name of it. That's how uninterested I was. I think it was called arboriculture. It was basically like learning the ways of the land.
Really?
Yeah, for real. Like learning how to like successfully cut down a tree without destroying the buildings around it, and like learning how to drive tractors and stuff. Like, it just sounded like a bunch of fun when I was a kid. Like, I was well excited because we finished high school at 16. So 16-year-old Pizza was like, dude, I get to drive a tractor? Yeah, let's do it. And then after a few months, I just realized, yeah, this is not for me, man. I didn't do anything. I basically just played, I think it was Advanced Warfare at the time, maybe. No, it was way before that. I think it was BO1 at the time. So I basically did nothing. And then luckily my friend from back at home here, his mum was starting up some kind of college for people that wanted to get into hospitality. So she just said, yeah, you can come on this course for free, and you get paid to go on it as well because you have like work placement. So it wasn't much, but I was still being paid like £400 a month to go to college and learn. So that was kind of cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I went to that, and then after we finished there, I got a full-time job for a year and a half. Dropped out of
where was your job at?
I was working in a hotel as because I got that college course to do with hospitality. So I worked in a hotel, and I got like a team leader position when I was like 17. So I had like people that were working for me who were like in their 30s, which is really weird. And I was like 17. Like, they did not take me seriously at all.
Yeah, how was that? Like being in a leadership position like that at such a young age? Was that?
It was.
What'd you learn
I was
from
too
that?
young for it. I was too immature for it, definitely. And what I mean, I did well, and I knew how to do the job well. But the older people definitely didn't take me seriously because I was so much younger. And also, I still was a kid. Like, you got to remember, like 17 years old, I'm not even legally allowed to drink in the place that I'm working. Like, that's so weird. But so yeah, I worked there for a year and a half, and then I dropped out because I realized that through the college course that I did, I had enough credits to go to university and follow a dream that I actually wanted to do, which was music production. So I went to college to learn music, and then I started doing music. It really got into making music. And after a few
What kind of
months
music did you make?
Oh, dude, full EDM. So I was making dance music, and some of them were really good. Like, I still listen to them back now and think, man, I did pretty well. Like, and even I even followed that on when I was doing CodeNamePizza for a little bit. Like, I have that song Agatha that's like still available on iTunes and SoundCloud and Amazon, and it's like it's still out there. You can still buy it under CodeNamePizza.
Reason I bring that up is because I have some friends that are interested in making their own like EDM music as well, and I always tell them that, like, I have a YouTube friend who did that for a long time. You have experience in that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a long time. Like, from the moment I went to university, I was probably doing it until, I don't know, for maybe 3 or 4 years. During that time, so I went to university when I was 18, and then I did the full first year, but I was very addicted to playing zombies at that time, like playing a lot of zombies. And then when that first year finished, they said I failed and I had to reset the first year again. So I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it again, just get my head down, and I thought that's what everyone wanted me to do. So I did that, and then after a couple of months, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I'm playing way too much zombies, and my university was like an hour away. So I'd wake up in the morning and go, instead of driving to university, let me just play Die Rise. So I just played Die Rise every single day, and then I was doing CodeNamePizza at the time, but it was only like 1,000 subs. So it was like no wage, and I was under Machinima, so they were already taking like 40% of what I was earning anyway.
Big
so
Machinima, yeah.
Exactly. I was coming out with like $3 a month. I still thought it was cool though.
Oh, dude, your first YouTube paycheck is so cool. It doesn't matter what the amount is. I think mine was 13 cents, but it's just the fact that you got paid for some sort of creative output that you made yourself was
you enjoyed to
yeah
do.
Yeah, it's so gratifying, and that might sound really weird to anybody who has like a job they work for a long time, where it's like I get paid this amount and it's like it is what it is. But when you get paid even a minuscule amount for something that you love, that you put together with your own hands, it's a different kind of experience.
Exactly, yeah, and it was the best. And so I dropped out of university to fully focus on, well, first of all, I dropped out of university because of playing zombies, but also I felt like I learned everything I need to know to do the type of music I wanted to do. Because as soon as they taught all the EDM stuff in like the first semester, and that's really what I wanted to do. And then after that, they moved on to a lot of other stuff that I just wasn't interested in. So I was like, okay, I'll leave. So I did a lot more music at home, as well as playing a lot of zombies and doing CodeNamePizza. And then Mob of the Dead released, and by the time Mob released, I had another full-time job, which I got super lucky with, which is weird. My friend was working at this like garage place, and like working on cars, and there was a spare room at this like garage that someone had rented out to work for a TV company that was starting to do a show on selling cruises. It was the weirdest thing, and they put up like a flyer around her,
like promoting them, or like
sales, like selling cruises through TV. And it kind of like QVC, but with cruises. And they just asked around the garage, like, does anyone know anyone that knows stuff to do with this? And he was like, well, my friend does a lot of like media stuff, because he knew that I did a YouTube channel. He knew I'd done YouTube since 2005 on other channels and stuff. But so I went working for those guys, and I was like, once again, in a really weird role, because I was recruiting people to be on these TV shows, like actors who could present the show, who were in their 30s, and I was. And
you were in charge of making the selections.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I was like doing the casting calls. They would turn up, and I'd just be there, sat there like a 19-year-old kid. Really, really weird, but super cool. Anyway, and I did that for Mob. I did that during Buried, and then I think when Origins released, the whole thing.
No way! Oh no way! No way, dude!
Dude, you get that, boy. You deserve that.
I'll take that. That is so funny.
Dude, it's so cool. But yeah, then Origins came out, and I think by that time it had all shut down. Like I still got paid, which is great, but I think the company went bust and just stopped paying for the TV stuff. So it was fine, because I could then get back to just being at home doing music and playing games, which all I wanted to do anyway. And then I just worked very basic jobs. Like I delivered parcels and stuff between like 8 in the morning till 10 in the morning, just for 2 hours a day, just to give me enough money to be able to get by.
How old were you around the time? So you said 19, like 20-ish. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, like 19, 20 at this point. So I deliver parcels for 2 hours a day. Give me enough money to focus on doing music and YouTube during the rest of the day. And it was during that time that I met my wife as well, which is very cool, which maybe we'll go into in a little bit more, but detail a little bit later on. But tried to get me into different work so that I could have like a full-time job. But I was so interested in just doing YouTube that in this full-time job that we had, the people were treating us so badly, that because we worked at the same place as well, that one day she just went, right, we're leaving. So we both left, had no job, and then she convinced me to give YouTube like one final go.
Where was that place so you were both working together? Where was that place?
Dude, everything I tell anyone sounds so made up, but it's 100% real. So we were working at a signage company. She's a graphics designer, right?
Oh yeah, we need that big boy for the mushroom. We'll bring it.
She made graphic design, so she did artwork for this signage company. But the one cool thing they did, they also did billboards for around football stadiums.
I heard about this. I remember about this.
So I made my Elgato's gone off, so I'm just trying to figure out where I am inside the map right now. Okay, there we go. So I basically made she would do the graphic design, and then I would literally print off, put it onto like the right material and everything like that, and then sand it down for football stadium billboards. And then so we have something in the UK called the Premier League, which is like the biggest football like thing in the UK, and it's probably the biggest league in the entire world, to be honest, for football or US guys out there, soccer.
Big soccer. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had this contract with them where literally I got employed to take out the Barclays Premier League sign that goes out in the middle of the pitch, the center of the soccer pitch or football pitch at the start of every game where both teams are there. And I got to do that every game for 3 football clubs. And luckily, one of those football clubs was a football club that I support, Manchester City. So I got to do that for Manchester City, Manchester United, and Burnley, who are all my local teams. And I got to stand in the front, like middle of the pitch with like 60,000 people surrounding me. It was nuts, but it was very cool. So if you can ever find a rerun of any of the football matches for those 3 teams through the year 2015, I will be in the middle of the pitch at the start of the game. So feel free to send me images
really
if you
good.
ever find me.
I like that.
So I did that, but like I said, they treated us really badly, so I left. Because my wife told me into leaving, and she left as well, and we just went right. Well, we'll figure it out. But right now we've got a little bit of savings. We can leave, and we'll be fine. And then by the time Black Ops 3 came out, we were pretty much completely broke. We had nothing left. But she had enough to buy me the Juggernaut edition of Black Ops 3. So she bought it me, and I had absolutely nothing in my account. So she bought me that. Within a few days, the channel started doing well, and I
really,
because I was
just in a couple of days.
Yeah, I was the only person focusing on the Giant. Everyone else was focusing on Shadows, and I didn't even load Shadows up until a week after the game came out. All I was doing was playing the Giant. So my channel started being like basically where the Giant is. Like everyone knew the Giant would be there, so that's what it was. And then I found something on the Giant that looks like it was very Easter egg related, and Glitching Queen did a video on it and gave me a shout out. And gained me like a few extra 1,000 subscribers. So start of Black Ops 3, 2,500 subs. Christmas, I think, was 8,000 subs. So within a month, I'd gained like 5K. And then from that point, we went to a YouTube thing. So like a YouTube day where they talk to general public about how they might be able to grow their channels. And I wasn't going to go, but my wife convinced me to go one morning. And I managed from that to then get to know people that works for YouTube. They advised me, hey, streaming's going to be big this year. This is before anyone even streamed. They went, streaming's going to be big this year. The cheapest way you can do it right now is buy a PlayStation and stream from that. So my wife spent her final bit of money because she went back to university for a little bit. So she got a student loan. She spent that on a PlayStation for me. And I started live streaming Shadows of Evil. And from that point, that's where it started. 1,000 subs every single day until March, where I hit 100,000 subs.
Wow.
And I've never looked back.
That's incredible. And like one of the things you mentioned before that I think is really important, it's kind of like you decided to do these things and really not as the expectations of others. You wanted to do what you felt like you were called to do in some sense. So that was music and making YouTube videos, and I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a really important commonality that you and I share, and that attitude regarding that. And I think that's to some degree like the path that almost every YouTuber at one point or another follows.
Would say any successful YouTuber. I also think that some people that have very short success have that short success because they're doing it for the wrong reason.
Sure. I agree.
I would say that in my case anyway, like I said, I've done YouTube since 2005, the year the site launched, and just doing random stuff on there. And I've been making videos with video cameras since I was a kid. So you're talking like 20-something years I've been doing this now, just making dumb videos. And I've been
it's kind of like in some sense you were always destined for it. I have like a similar thing as well, where like there's a channel that nobody will ever find, but I used to make like skit videos with my friends when I was a really little kid, and they're still on the internet, but they're just, they're on like a channel that has like no subscribers, but
I gotta see that.
I might show you some time, But yeah, no, it's like a lot of us who are still here in this scene started by just fooling around with a video camera or, you know, just creating something when we were younger with no intention of it going anywhere. But it definitely gave us like an outlet to express like creative things we wanted to try.
Exactly. And the saying that everyone says, which I agree with to some extent, but I also don't, is the same way you hear people go, start YouTube as a hobby. And I get that. I 100% get that. And I've been doing videos as a hobby for a long time. But 100%, when I started CodeNamePizza in 2012, every little thing that went into it, even the name itself, was 100% destined in my head for greatness. Like, I thought, this is going to be my job at some point. I need everything to tick every box. So even the name itself, it's all like, I picked CodeNamePizza because it sounds mysterious. Pizza is hugely relatable to everyone. Like, and also it is my favorite food.
Yeah.
But it was very much something that it's my hobby, but I also would love it to be my career. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure out how. But first of all, I'm building the channel from the ground up.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know this is what you want to do, so you don't half-ass it. You go all in.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's an important attitude to have, and that's kind of like. It's a attitude I think you almost have to develop if you're gonna be a successful content creator. Is you have to like. People may disagree, but I think when you decide to do something, you should certainly put an insane amount of effort towards it, if not your entire being of effort into that one thing.
Agreed. And that going back to where we finished that long story right there. The reason why I grew that quick wasn't just because I was live streaming. It wasn't just because Myth-busting Mondays took off. It was a combination of all of that. And back then, I would do a video almost every day. On top of that, I would stream every day. So I would wake up in the morning, make a video, and then I would stream for about 3 hours at night and either release the video before or after the stream. Every single day for around a year. And that's exactly how I went from 2,500 subs to over 300,000 subs in a year. I just grinded. And then at that point, I was like, okay, I could probably just chill for a little bit now. And I've reduced it a little bit, but that first year is so important.
Yeah.
Just trying to get off the ground. You see a little bit of momentum in your channel. If you just start grinding, you start growing a little bit, you need to double down on that growth and put twice as much work in.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, 100%.
You find the thing that works, you definitely, you double down on it. That's exactly right.
Of course you do. Dude, of course you do. And even if it seems like milking sometimes, it's totally worth it. Like Myth-busting Mondays, dude, we're nearly at 300 episodes. But if I stop doing it, and I have stopped doing it many times, because I either run out of myths or I get bored of it, the amount of comments I get where it's like, hey, can you bring it back, please? And I'm just like, okay, well, if I'm even just making a few people happy, I'm doubling down on that again. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And Myth-busting Mondays is interesting point to bring up as well, because that's pretty like a lot of that, or to some degree, is pretty much how you and I became friends in a lot of ways.
I would say that, yeah. I think that's where we actually became BFFs.
Yeah.
I think we found each other. You know, I say this all the time. You know how we met each other, don't you?
Yeah. So for those of you who may not be familiar, like him and I, we've been friends for quite a while, but it really started on zombies.
Yeah, so I've always very much been open to collaborations to help anyone out, and especially during that first year of my growth at the end of Black Ops 3 when I was like 250, 300,000 subscribers. I felt so privileged that I had to give back to people no matter what. So I would do collabs with people with very few subs a lot of time, but then this guy hits me up named Chopper. You might know him. And I think at the time you had 5K or
something like that.
5,000 subs. Yeah. And you hit me up saying, hey, you want to do a zombies video together? And I was like, dude, so into this. Cause I've been doing like first room challenges and stuff like that with like people with no subscribers just to try and get them off the ground. And then this guy with 5K hits me up. I'm like, and one thing I learned when I went to that YouTube thing, just going back where I told you guys about where I went to the YouTube thing where I met people from YouTube. They told me to start streaming. One of the first things they told me is no matter what size someone is, that collaboration is important, unless they have 0 subs. But you look at people with 1 sub, that's a sub that you don't have. That is beneficial for you to do. So I looked at that 5K and went, man, that's big. I can get 5K subs from this. So I spoke to Chopper and I'm like, dude, I'm down for a first room challenge. And we did a Gore Crowley first room.
We did.
I thought I thought
On
you
the
were
big GK.
incredibly cool. Yeah, I thought you were incredibly cool. And I then asked you to help me with myth busting because I didn't myth busting for a long time on my own until Lex wanted to help me with it because he realized the success was good with it. And then Lex got bored of doing it when I still wanted to carry it on, and I lost my duo partner basically. So I asked you, do you want to be my duo partner for it and help me with the myths? And you said yeah.
Yeah, and we did that for quite a while, and that was one of the things that, like, because from my perspective, a lot of the time was like I was on a point on YouTube where I didn't really know exactly like what niche I belonged into or the group that I would associate with. And at the time, I was just not associating with people that I felt like I fit in with, and I was having trouble like finding that spot. And then, you know, we would collab, and then like naturally got introduced to the other guys in the zombies community. But at the end of the day, like I definitely felt that like you and I were pretty much on the same page with that kind of stuff, and I think that's why we worked so well together, and that's why we became good friends in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We just clicked straight off the bat, and it just felt really natural.
Right. Exactly. And that's like, and that's such an important point as well, because a lot of people that want to do YouTube for themselves or start their own like content creation journeys is like, it's not about just collabing with people that have you know, bigger subscriber counts. It's I don't know, you got to find the group of friends that works with you, but it's also like the key to collabing is making it a better deal for the other person you want to collab with, you know? It's like,
yeah,
if you can collab with someone and it's a great deal for them, they're much more inclined to do it. And if you start on that basis, there's no limit to what you can do, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah, 100% agreed. And it is important to collaborate with people as well. You'll see different viewpoints, and even I feel like a lot of gamers, including myself, I'm not trying to be mean. We're very much in a bubble, and we tend to be very much is the right word extroverts? Like we don't really. Or introverts?
Introverts, yeah, where we kind of just keep to ourselves.
Exactly, and especially when I was that age, I've not really spoken to another content creator. I was very on my own, and I thought it was important to stay on my own until I started working with other people, and I realized, holy man, this is like, it's so cool to learn different points of views and just take on board the different views of people. So yeah, 100% collaboration is super important, and like I said, even if it's only one sub they've got, then that sub is beneficial to you, obviously, to some extent. Like if you go to a certain,
it's more like about the potential of the collab in front of you versus like the immediate, this guy has X amount of subs kind of thing, where it's like if they make great content and maybe they're just not there quite yet sub count wise, they're still like, that's still worth doing, in my opinion, where it's like this guy might go places. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like right now, I'm not doing this to gauge subs or views. I'm literally doing this just because I've not spoken to you in about a week and I really wanted to chat.
yeah, it's just a great time to catch up. Exactly. Yeah, so like I guess with Cold War being out, what and you know, zombies, you and I have been in the zombies game for a long time. What's your like your longer term plan for like content creation? Because it's clear at the end of the day you still have like there's still a drive to keep growing, and there's still a drive to you know, create the best things you can. Are you feeling like you can still do that for a long time with zombies, or is there anything like in the distant future that you might bring as a surprise?
I'm assuming that zombies is always going to be something that I love. I've always loved video games, and this has always been my favorite, so I assume I'd be playing this for a while. As for work, as for supporting my family, as for investments, it is it feels like it's teetering on a dying breed.
You think so?
Well, I would say the zombies universe, without being pumped with extra life. And what I mean by that is something that blows us all away. If we stick to the same thing, like Cold War is great, but it's not a game changer. You know, it's really good, but it ain't no game changer. I would say without new life, we've got about 3 years in zombies. I would say we've got next year, the year after, and that might be it. So my long-term plans, Mr. Choppy, is to. Well, I'm a very frugal guy, so I've very much just saved up.
Yeah. I think you and I are also similar in that way too.
Yeah, just to you know, make sure that I've got a little bit of little bit of savings behind me
A
and
bit of
stuff like
Skrilla
that.
in the bank for a rainy
Exactly.
day.
So I don't need to rely on this whenever that time comes. But there's a lot of things I would like to pursue. I
Well,
do want to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but after that, other things that I want to pursue. I want to publish a book this year, but we're gonna keep that a secret. Not a full secret. We could say I want to publish a book, but I'm not gonna go into what it's gonna be.
yeah, yeah. Well,
But
the thing you mentioned there that's quite interesting is like I think you to some degree when you have a literal child you have to sacrifice some kind of like economic endeavor, I guess, like, but you to be a good father, you know, you have to sacrifice that to some degree, but that's fine. It's like it's your literal son, you know what I mean? So it's like taking a couple days off zombies and off streaming. It's like that's what you should do, pretty much.
Exactly.
Considering the fact you have a newborn to take care of. I guess I can't exactly relate because, again, I'm not a father, but you can imagine, and you can probably relate as well, we're like YouTubers, when we take breaks, even for any period of time whatsoever, it can definitely be like anxiety provoking, where we're like, oh my God, it's, you know, we might lose relevancy extremely fast. And, you know, it's just like, it's really hard to actually disconnect sometimes. And I don't know if you like relate as heavily as I do, but it's like sometimes it's really hard to disconnect.
I definitely understand what you're saying, and I totally relate to it. But also at the same time, I feel like I'm truly, truly blessed with the audience I have. So, like I said before, I took December off to spend time with my new baby, and during that time, I went from 750 members to about 500 members, or 550. So I only lost like 200 members in a month, and that's not that much for someone who's completely inactive for a month. Like you would assume that you would lose like a lot more, and they're already like I'm already back up to like 600 and something now. So I've almost gained it all back, and it's only been 12 days.
Was there any like just personal anxiety about it though, like stepping away for a bit to take care of your family and stuff?
No, not at all. And I think it's just because I've become to understand how this YouTube thing works, and like I said, I feel truly, truly blessed about how I can connect with people and how amazing people are in my subscribers anyway. I think one of the first times that I ever did it, I was very worried, and it definitely shows in some of my previous endeavors that I was worried about it. Like my honeymoon, I still made videos on my honeymoon. We'd be in a hotel at the end of the day, and I'd make a video. I'd make myth busting from a hotel room instead of just taking my honeymoon off. Because I was worried. I didn't know how it was going to go. And I even back then, I feel like it probably was a wise decision. I probably could have gone into irrelevancy if I didn't do that. But right now, I'm very blessed. And the audience that I have is unreal. And you can vouch for that. Like, it completely different compared to any other streamer's community, in my opinion. It's nuts. Really is.
I would say that, like, it's kind of interesting when you really you pay attention to each individual zombie YouTuber's audience and the culture around their audience, more or less. And let's just say there's ones that I definitely prefer to others, even within the same like zombies community. There's branches. There's branches of the zombies audience that like certain streamers attract that I think have more preferable traits, to put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. And
so, yeah, I would say that yours is definitely absolutely one of the standout ones. I would like to think mine is definitely one of the because I mean I don't know. I figure you and I have a lot of crossover viewers too.
Yeah, I would assume so. We seem to get a lot of love whenever we go into each other's chats and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think sticking to that like kind of toxicity thing, it's very much occurred to me probably over the past like 2 years that there's a weird part of the zombies community. Now, I love y'all. I love y'all so much, but so you've got the guys that have somehow made it, which it's whether it be luck or because we're nice people, we've somehow made it to a certain subscriber count. You then have the people that are under that, which are doing really well. You then have people that are really low down that's not pumped it up yet, and then people in the middle that are really toxic, and I'm like really scared to even speak to because I don't know how to take them sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You have but it's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where you have these different branches. I think that's true with every community, not just zombies. But I don't know, and that's to the point that I made earlier about I was at a point in YouTube where I didn't know where my group was. I didn't know where I fit in at. Like, it certainly wasn't in some of those branches that you were just describing, where it's a little bit more toxic, or it's a a little bit more unpredictable, let's say.
Yeah.
But it's I would totally say in every community there's always those extents that aren't, you don't associate with them as much.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, every like you said, every community has that, and we definitely have. Man, there's some weird channels in our community that
There
just,
are.
I don't know. It's weird, man. Weird.
Yeah, no, it's a strange career field we happen to be in.
And I
But
feel like a lot of people that are watching this already know who we're talking about.
I think a lot of it though is what, and like something I think is so unbelievably important. It's like just keeping your integrity throughout all of the temptations to not, because there's a lot of opportunities to step off the path, let's say.
I would say so. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I've never felt like the need to do anything like that, but
but you understand that sometimes there's like there's a temptation to take personal gain when it would be automatic negative to someone else.
I think the only time that I felt like that, just being completely honest, is I didn't understand. I was very early on with YouTube. I think it was like, when I say early on with CodeNamePizza-ish. It was like 2016, 2017 when Zombie Chronicles released. Was it? 2017?
Yeah.
So I would say maybe like 400k subs. And I because I was a full-time streamer, right? So I just thought streaming everything all the time. And then I just remember being sat in my hotel room at Zombie Chronicles and just going, I never announced it, I never tweeted out or anything, but I just remember being sat in my hotel room going, no, what am I doing? I'm not gonna stream JC's reveal. That would be weird. I'm just gonna watch it. And I didn't even post anything. I just sat there and watched his video. And that was my step back and just thought, man, well, I'm like making friends here. Like, these are my real friends. These are my real buddies. Like, we're probably gonna be friends for a long time. Because I don't know, it just something clicks in my head. Like, this is wrong. Why would I stream it? Like, this is someone else's gain right here. But I know, I never told anyone I was going to stream. I never tweeted out saying I was going to stream, and I didn't stream. But I know people actually said they were going to stream it, and I just thought that's a bit scumbaggy. So that's why I decided not to. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But I think it's kind of cool as well. It's like, it's so important, and I think the zombies community is kind of unique in that fact too. We have, at least as far as the boys go, like, we have a pretty tight-knit relationship. Like, we hang out all the time and stuff whenever possible.
Agreed.
So it's important to not like double cross each other on YouTube, because that'll severely affect your interpersonal relationships too.
Exactly. And we're not saying that it's not happened. It definitely has happened.
We've all made mistakes, like, always. Yeah,
exactly. And it does happen in our group for sure. Most of the time it gets called out upon.
It does.
I don't know. I feel like we do it very little. I don't know. Maybe
I would like to think so. It's hard to tell from
the views, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good on YouTube. I don't steal other people's stuff. I don't post other stuff that people have posted unless I find it interesting, or I don't know. I just try and keep myself to myself and do what I find fun. And I feel like you're the very much same as well.
Yeah, and that's like, that was one of those things. It's almost like a lesson learned too, where that's not the obvious path, I think, for everybody, where it's like, hey, I'm just going to do my thing and I'm going to figure out my own content. A lot of people are just trying to get an edge. Like, you know what I mean? There was a YouTuber I won't mention. It was a smaller YouTuber that literally would rip my videos and re-upload them.
Really?
Basically, it wasn't just downloaded and re-uploaded, but like the word for word script would just it was the most low effort, like it was just the bottom feeder scum of YouTube channels. And it's like, if you operate your YouTube channel on that attitude, you're not gonna last very long.
No.
And nobody will ever want to work with you, which is like fundamentally your relationships with other creators is like kind of the thing that keeps you afloat. on the internet.
Exactly. And there's definitely been moments where stuff like that has happened to bigger people. But I'm hoping that a lot of people like that have done anything like that can grow from it. They're doing content similar to themselves. Like we see it a lot with thumbnails. Like a lot of thumbnails get replaced with maybe just one picture or one word out of place. It's the exact same thumbnail, and that sucks. And I think YouTube now flags it up in its own little algorithm, and it shows up on your page people that have uploaded a similar thumbnail to you, and you can say, hey, that's mine, and then you can
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that it also flags up any of your content in a video. You can actually look it up through your thing and see how many people have just ripped off a video of yours.
I saw that one. I didn't know about thumbnails. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it takes thumbnails into consideration. I had a couple of them just pop up where it's a full ripped video, but it includes a thumbnail. And I can like flag either, like flag the thumbnail or flag the video.
Huh. Point is, don't rip off other people's videos and or thumbnail. That's like YouTube lesson 101, basically, exactly. or should be. Yeah. No, the journey's been interesting. I've been doing YouTube a few years less than you have. I mean, because you started basically in 2005 when it was created. Aside from you know the little skit videos we used to make and stuff, but I don't know. I think I find it fascinating that your channel in particular, and by extension, some of the zombies community has survived the test of time.
Yeah, I always like to look at my channel and other people's channel and just think why were we so lucky? Like what's going on? Because there's a lot of people that I can name that haven't done well. Obviously, there's those shady people that haven't done well because they literally like did weird stuff in the community to grow, and then they got found out.
Are paying the consequences for it now, yeah. Well,
you would assume they're paying the consequences, but I mean, you could always hide the fact that you're doing badly by just looking like you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? But I do look at my channel and other people's channels and very much say what's happened here. And I think the thing is, I think just staying true to yourself. I think just being who you are, what the audience fell in love with to begin with. Like, why did they start watching you? Maybe because your gameplay was good. Maybe, but they stuck around for the person. And as long as you remain that person and don't change the way you are, then they're gonna stick around for a long time. You just look at YouTube like the same way you look at a friendship, and it's gonna blossom, and it's just gonna remain being really, really good.
I think it's another important thing as well, as like just keeping that like authenticity, because human beings are good at detecting fakeness, and especially amongst content creators, that it's becoming like, I guess the older you get, it's becoming increasingly easy to tell when somebody is disingenuous about their motives and what they do and stuff. So and people aren't stupid, and they don't like and audiences don't like to be treated like they're stupid either. So
no, not at all. And it happens more often than you would assume.
It does. But I would also say that even long term, those channels that treat their audience in that way may not survive as long as they think they might.
No, definitely not. And they might look like they're doing well, but that doesn't mean they're actually doing well. Be the person that you want to be known as. And if you can treat everyone and treat your content the same way that you want to be treated, then you'll blossom on this platform. Otherwise, if you are in it just to be a scumbag and you try and act cool and nice, you'll be found out the same way that you found out in life. You can't hide behind a mask forever.
That's absolutely the case. It is absolutely right. Because in some sense, your channel and your content should be a reflection of who you actually are. It's I mean, to some degree, you know, you've got to amplify elements of yourself for content in a lot of ways, but like you're not someone else. You're not different.
No, exactly. The only thing that I would probably do, that if you met me in person, I'm a little bit louder when I'm streaming, and I would say that I'm very shy in real life compared to streaming. Like, my goodness, I want to talk about this real quick, mainly because honestly, I don't like to show emotions online, but it made me get a little bit upset, and I just ignored it because I thought, what's the point? But there was a guy. I'm gonna keep this guy nameless, but he went to ZWC, and I just don't think they understood that I'm just a shy person. I keep myself to myself when we're at events, or I just stick to being with my friends at events because I'm a shy person. And a month after ZWC, there was like this thread on Twitter going off and just saying how disingenuous I am, and just saying how all I do is spend time with all the zombie mad lads when I'm at events, and I don't want to speak to anyone else because I just don't care. And that's not the case. I ignore.
Wait, I never heard that. That's bizarre.
Yeah, it was I don't want to say their name, but if you are
Right,
listening right now, but yeah, if you listen right now, I'm not being disingenuous.
I would also say it's not a bad thing to want to spend time with your friends, you know? It's like these people that you've cultivated relationships online with, like myself and with all the other boys. It's like it's not like a normal work relationship where you see these guys every day. Like, I mean, we talk online all the time, but it's like when we actually get to see each other is maybe once or twice a year, if that.
Exactly.
So it's like,
and you also need to realize that yes, I might be able to stream to thousands of people, but when I'm streaming, I never look at how many people are watching. I will never know that. And even if it's one person, even if it's 10,000 people, I will not know
look
how many
at the
people
viewer
are
count
until I click end stream where it will say how many people we peaked at. I don't look because I am a very, very shy person. I might come across that I'm not, but I am. So if you are listening, guy who made that thread, I'm not that person. It annoyed me a lot and made me a little bit upset that you made that thread. But I'm a decent guy, and yeah, there you go.
it's like I like that you brought that up where you don't look at viewer count during streams. I do the exact same thing where it's like it's something that I recommend to new streamers. It's like don't pay so much attention to your viewer count. It's like it's easy to get discouraged if you're not hitting the numbers you want and stuff like that. But it takes all the fun and joy out of it if you look at it in that way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
It's better just to do your thing, have fun, and then, you know, you can check results after. That's fine. But just enjoy yourself while you're doing it. Don't be so self-conscious about who may or may not be watching. It's like, just go out there and do it. And that's fundamentally the attitude that people will like, I think.
Exactly. And that's not saying don't look at numbers. Numbers are hugely important if you want this to be a job. I look at numbers every day just to double check on what's working, what's not working. Can I pay the bills this month? Yes, I can because I did this right. Or no, maybe I need to do a little bit extra because I did this wrong. Numbers are very important, but for stuff like that, I don't look. It just keeps me sane, I think, by not looking and not knowing how many people are watching. Like, it does not seem fun. If I sat in a room and had that many people watching me, I would freak. So yeah, I just don't look at how many people are watching. But yeah, there you go. Man, I'm so happy this challenge went well. Drinking a glass of wine and not going down really worked out for me.
Dude, this has been we're literally almost we've almost made it to the end here.
Yeah, 5 downs though, so totally failed, but okay.
Wow, that was a great discussion.
That was a great discussion.
You gonna make? Oh, there he is. There's my boy. We made it. We made it. The helicopter is gonna sweep us up. No, I think this was really good, and it's probably pretty insightful for people that have never just. A lot of times, you know, you're focused on talking about the game and stuff, but you know, having a conversation where you can just sit down and relax is probably a nice change of pace for the viewers, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Exactly. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to Pizza, which I recommend all of you do, links in the description, and tell them I sent you. But thank you guys for watching once again. Anything else you'd like to say before we go?
I honestly think you are the best player of zombies out of all of YouTubers.
Dang, that's gas. That is gas for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. You are the greatest player of zombies. And you know why? Just before we go, people always say, how do you get good at zombies? Chopper has the answer. All about movement. You know how to move, you will be amazing. Simple as that.
That's straight up gas right there. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot, dude. It was a great conversation. Thanks for coming on. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude, no worries.